Hello everybody, how are you going? And welcome to TikTok's Only Canadians Will Understand, and maybe you can also sneak in here if you're an honorary Canadian.
Canada, what snacks are you famous for? Oh, we got Smarties. Wait, what's that? That's me. Oh, so like
theirs?
fake M&Ms? Yep, basically that's fake me. No, I'm unique. I'll try and judge myself. Here we go.
Surely it's gotta be alright.
How do you like it? Is each color a flavor? Yeah, it's good, right? Oh, M&M's is way better. Told you.
Oh, poor fella. I wouldn't say that. I would say that they are similar enough where you're going, okay, I can understand where their derivatives are, but at the same time you're going, okay, well, they're different colors, they're also different shapes. One's very, very fat. I mean, it's not Skittles, so it's a completely different confectionery if you're talking about Skittles, but M&M's and Smarties. Smarties are kind of the original goat for all of the European or all of the UK derivatives. I mean, of course, the USA is also at some point a UK derivative, but they got rid of them a long time ago, and so all of the Commonwealth countries, that's kind of what you grow up on. You get the little box and cardboard box of Smarties and you're done for the day, or maybe about 10 boxes, but as a kid, that is what you were truly after. I mean, as well as everything else here, I do see that someone is saying that Smarties are better than M&M's, but Smarties cannot beat peanut M&M's, and that's certainly got to be a difficult one and a very uphill battle to be winning there, because I don't think Smarties ever really come out with multiple flavors. They are one-hit wonder kind of thing, and they can go on forever like that. The one-hit wonder is always going to be in the charts, but if someone truly is going to be after something a little bit different, I think M&M's are probably more so the way to go.
How people enter buildings.
What?
How Canadians enter buildings.
What?
Are you coming in here?
That's fantastic.
Take your time.
Oh no. Oh, I mean, I do want to know what the bit of a nose wipey, whatever, I guess actually it's going to be called, so maybe you're just wiping your nose before you go in, just making sure that you get the icicles of snot off your nose. But then the second part of this was fantastic. Oh, it's just the distance. Look at how far they are. They are across the other side of the earth at that point. I mean, Canada's a big place, and so it's basically half of Canada, but she will wait there for the entire time. Like she said, take your time. There is no rush. I will be here all day. I'm a very patriotic Canadian, and I'm very proud just to wait here and just be very, very polite about the entire thing. But meanwhile, everyone else is just going, it's freezing out here. I'm not waiting for a single other person. I'm getting inside, getting indoors to hopefully some sort of warmer shelter or something like that. But Canadians are so used to the cold, and they've got their big jackets and their toques and everything else. They're fine. They just live out there just waiting for someone to come indoors. And even the fact that she said, oh, are you coming in here? To which I didn't hear a reply. I just saw them running. But honestly, I reckon if they just went all the way up and then skirted left, they wouldn't be mad. They're going, oh, sorry about that, bud. I do now want to know though, if you are going to be very highly contrasted against the white background, do people then, instead of just completely turning around, do you just look into the glass to see, okay, is there anyone coming that I need to be looking out for? No, there isn't, not that I can see. And then you open the door, and then maybe as you open the door, the reflection just enlightens you to another person and go, oh, yes, I've got one. I can wait here forever. Or you can go, okay, I've checked my 360-degree camera via the glass, and I can just enter the building without fully looking back. Maybe once I'm inside, I can do a double check. But regardless, you can just make sure that you're not being rude, because that's the main thing you don't want to be doing.
Only in Canada will you see an outdoor hockey rink, and then 100 yards away from it, people skateboarding in t-shirts with the tower in the back.
Okay.
Can't make it up, folks.
Wow, an outdoor one. That must be cold, or is it maybe it's cold enough outdoors air temperature wise, but it's not cold to where it would actually say fully frozen without some extra help from some underground piping or something like that? Because I know that certain, let's say Disney on Ice and all those shows, they freeze their entire rink just from the base, and I can only imagine that that is how virtually every ice rink is done. It's not like they're freezing it via the air temperature, because that would be much, much harder than pumping refrigerant through the entire thing. And so maybe it's a bit of a both ways, where it's not actually that cold, especially not for these guys in the middle of winter. If you're kind of used to 5 degrees, 2 degrees, whatever it may be, you could be skating, because skating is quite a exhausting, energetic, calorie burning, all those kind of things sport, when you're really just pumping and jumping and everything like that. And then to have it next to a family ice rink, it does make sense to me. And so it literally only in Canada I can understand that, but at the same time, I would love to know the actual temperature of this region at this moment. That looks stunning. Where is it?
Should I move here?
Honestly, it looks pretty good. Ooh, are they telling me what it is? Turks and I don't know how to pronounce that. I don't even know what country it is to even begin to pronounce that, but Taylor Beach. Where is that? Hopefully it is actually the right thing. Okay, well, the little thing up here seems to agree with it. Let's just see. I've got layers. Oh my goodness, look at that water. Where is it going to be? Oh, okay then. Well, I can certainly understand why people would be having a little bit of a different experience down there compared to, I don't know, you just go from PEI or even over Vancouver Island or somewhere like that. You can see from the satellite view. I mean, I guess, yeah, it's all the Bahamas. Maybe this isn't. I'm not sure how far the Bahamas actually extend as a kind of collective overall. Regardless, look at this. That is certainly a stunning kind of natural phenomenon in terms of the color of the water. So I can certainly understand it. If nothing else, absolutely agree with the fact that you may want to consider moving there. I mean, there's going to be a lot more things you have to consider besides just very, very, very clear waters, and I can only imagine quite warm and crystal clear, beautiful, not even like massive waves or anything like that. But I certainly cannot blame the Canadians or honestly anyone else that would want to go, hang on a second, I can either be in my winter being colder than usual, regardless of whether it's a Sydney winter going down to maybe 10 degrees, 12 degrees, a UK winter going down to, I don't know, 2, or a Canadian winter going down to minus 20. Whatever it may be, you go there and you go, why would I ever go anywhere else? Let me just completely disregard winter, just have perpetual summer, just bunny hop around summer to summer to summer to summer. And there is already plenty of people that do that just go from North America to Australia, UK to Australia, just really just chasing the summertime. Only Canadians will understand this. Wait, don't forget writing Saskatchewan in that tiny as well. I mean, to be honest, at first I was going, hang on, before I read that, is it Saskatoon or Saskatchewan? And no, I've learnt my lesson now. I do in fact know that it is Saskatchewan, but that is also a very good way to remember it because Saskatoon, well, it's not the shortest of things, but it is definitely a shorter word than Saskatchewan, and so I can understand you basically just want to flip the entire thing and just write it diagonally or vertically at that rate. I mean, Alberta's nice and easy, Manitoba's got a nice little hill hook to it as well. Everywhere else it should be fine, but man, I can understand Saskatchewan in that box, unless you were able to write in font size 1, or maybe even just go towards the bottom because I believe it's slightly pie-shaped. Regardless of that, you're going to be just doing this and just freaking out the entire way. It's like writing a name on something and going, oh no, I don't know what to do anymore because I've just either gone too big or too small and it looks just wrong. It looks so...
Should I move here?
I can. Honestly, I once again cannot blame people. It looks so good. It's very different to the other one with the beach, and actually it's quite the same person, but they are very, very different lifestyles. I can only imagine just going to the Bahamas or going into the middle of nowhere in terms of there's nowhere around it besides Banff and all these incredible places, of course, but I don't believe that either of them have a major city near them, and so I guess they're going to be similar in that regard, but one's going to be getting much, much colder, especially in the winter, than the other. One's going to have a wet and a dry season, and then the other one is going to be having a mountain biking season and a snow season. That is basically it, or perhaps even a little bit of a paddling season or a skating season over the lakes, if that is going to be possible as well, or if you're game for that kind of thing. However, the top comment does raise a decent point by saying, I don't know, it's so high traffic, touristy, and expensive to live there too, plus I heard that you have to be approved to live there. The approving makes sense, you're in a national park and all of that kind of thing. But I can also understand how if you don't really want the touristy aspect of it, the other place in the middle of the Bahamas probably isn't going to be the best place either, but knowing how geological blessed Canada is in terms of this aspect, I'm sure that you could probably find some less touristy but virtually identical places all over Canada that you can move to instead.
This is a key. It goes under my welcome mat in a very obvious place. Alex, why would you do that? Isn't somebody going to break into your house? Well, actually, there are a lot of break-ins in this area, and every 6 months to a year, I'll notice that the key's missing, which means people are trying. But here's the thing. It's not the key to my house. It doesn't unlock anything around here. The reason I put it down there is that if a robber finds that key, there's going to be this moment in between the joy he feels thinking he's about to get in to the disappointment, realizing it doesn't work. And I hope that there'll be a moment of reflection there where he'll think, what am I doing with my life?
What?
And maybe he'll change. Now, you're probably also wondering, what is that key? I'll tell you. If any of you robbers are seeing this TikTok, look at the number on that key. It unlocks a safety deposit box at the West End Van City Bank in Vancouver. And in that safety box, we got some money, we got a self-help book, and a chance for you to...
Honestly, That is outrageous, and I don't even know. I understand. Well, he certainly likes to come across as though he's doing someone a good deed. He wants to try and turn their life around. But that is so maniacal, just going, oh, I just want to see them suffer, just giving them a glimpse of false hope, just going, oh my goodness, I'm already adrenaline rush, I can only imagine, because you're stealing from something or someone, and then, oh, what? Why isn't it working? Do I need to go around to the back door? It didn't work there either. Is it for a fly screen or for a garage door? I have no idea. And then you just be tossing that thing away going, I don't know what happened. I don't want it. I don't want them to have it back because this thing is useless. What is this possibly for? I mean, maybe you just put it back under so no one is none the wiser. But at the same point, it is so maniacal. And how many keys does he have this cut for a safety deposit box as well? Surely they're not just handing these out willy-nilly. Just, oh yeah, I need another 10. What'd you do with the last 10? Oh, I don't know. They got robbed. What? They robbed us? No. They just threw them in the yard. Good luck trying to explain that one to the bank. And even though, yes, this entire thing is going to be a bit of a skit here, the idea of it is just like I said, it's so devious, and in a good way and a bad way. So I don't know if it is the most Canadian thing I've ever seen, because I feel as though most of the time they're a little bit kinder than that. They don't have those kind of thoughts as far as I've ever been aware.
How to order food in Quebec.
I'll have 1 hamburger and 1 poutine, please. Désolé, what? 1 hamburger and 1 poutine. Okay.
How to order food in Quebec.
Really, to that degree, I mean, I know that it's an entirely different culture being in the same country, but surely not. Surely the French aspect and also the English aspect can just both come together in terms of just ordering a hamburger and poutine. Like, to what degree are they just taking the mickey? Just going, come on, I know what you said. It's virtually the same word, just with an accent. It doesn't make any difference. It's not like it's completely different. The vowels were all over the place. No, you said the same thing. Just one, did you just put a bit of an emphasis on it? And of course, if you can speak French, even just a little bit, then hopefully you should just be able to go ahead and use it and gain a whole boatload more brownie points. But if you just don't know it, I don't really know what you're meant to do. I mean, hopefully in all of these restaurants, you can obviously have the touchscreen and things like that. But otherwise, surely if you can get it close enough, it's kind of part of the deal that you just have to be trying to work together to try and figure the entire thing out. It's not rocket science. You're just trying to get a bit of food that's one of 20 things on the menu.
We've had some snow and some cold weather. I'm so excited to see if the pond is frozen, but it's really important to check the depth of the ice before you play hockey. Let's drill through the ice and see how thick it is. We need 4 inches to skate on. Looks like pretty promising. All the way through. And then obviously you get your tape measure. You need 4 inches of ice. That's the safe amount to skate on. Let's see what we've got here. Ooh, it is looking like the ice is a bit thin. Check back tomorrow.
And the fact that he said day 62, where is he living? Maybe is it coming out of winter and so he's just on the wrong end? We went through a little bit of a hot spell and he just went, oh, I missed winter entirely. Whatever it may be, I just hope that he doesn't go ahead and attempt to skate on whatever that is. I mean, he did agree that it was a little bit too thin, but maybe one night he goes, you know what, stuff it. I don't know if it's too thin. I haven't measured it. It's feeling a little bit cold out. Surely it must be solid enough now. And then meanwhile, you just see him running up and growing straight down, as unless he suddenly just happened to have boat feet. No, you are just going straight through that ice. However, I do want to know, how thick did you say it needed to be to skate on?
See how thick it is. We need 4 inches to skate on.
4 inches. I wonder, is that an official thing? I mean, I really don't know what to believe in this entire video. 4 inches. I feel as though I've seen people skate on less. Maybe not meant to skate on less, but I feel as though I've seen people skate on less. Maybe 2? Maybe it also depends on the ice and how cold it is and water currents underneath it and things like that. But 4 inches of ice, that seems pretty thick. I feel like you get a pretty solid bed through that. And then even if you were to then scale it up, how many inches do you need to drive a car on? Because I've seen cars driving on frozen lakes and all those kind of things. So yeah, what is the different degrees of frozen of a lake and how cold does it need to get to be able to work its way all the way through the layers or all the way through the depth of the lake, and it really does give you a nice solid base that you can then drill through. Not now, my friend. What? What, are they trying to go to French? Oh no! Oh no! What are they trying to do? I'm so confused. I mean, I don't even know. Are they trying to go at all? Or it is Air Canada. And I don't know how good Air Canada is, or maybe it's bad, or maybe it's good, I don't know. But why are they unable to select either of them? I mean, it's funny that it is both in English and French, and that's it. No other languages whatsoever. It's Air Canada or nothing. But even that, they can't select anything to just start watching their poor movie. And I would love to know how long they've been trying this, because they get it so close so many times. Oh, maybe is it in French and they're trying to swap it to English because it looks like French is almost highlighted as well? There are so many questions I have about this, especially as it says that all Canadians can relate. And sadly, I'm not a Canadian. I am only apparently maybe an honorary Canadian at most.
What? I mean, yeah, I am Canadian, but that's not... What other verb do you use?
What?
I'm gonna phone the mechanic. I have to phone the doctor's clinic and make an appointment.
I'm gonna call them.
Do you say telephone?
No.
I'm gonna telephone.
Oh god, that's gross.
I'm gonna ring my friend. No, that sounds British. Are you British?
Yeah, okay.
Canadian makes it sound like you're American. He doesn't get home till after 6, so I'll phone him then.
Oh.
Oh, your dad called. Make sure you phone him back.
Oh. That's just not right.
Phone.
Sure. You make a call.
Oh, call.
Yeah, there you go.
Call. Okay, yeah, I say call. Is saying phone as a verb a Canadian thing? I didn't think it was.
I wonder. I've never heard of anyone use phone like that. I mean, you have a phone and you pick up the phone. You can also pick up a call, though. I've never really heard of anyone use it for anything else. Like I was saying, I guess you would be using call your friend, ring your friend. I don't know, even just talk, chat, message. I mean, message is more going to be non-verbal. But yeah, if you were just going to be calling someone, I think that was what you'd be saying. You would just be calling someone. To be fair, ring is definitely something that plenty of people use. And I guess it may very well be a little bit more British. Yeah, I would love to hear the statistics about which country uses what verb and all the other adjectives that maybe people are using just to try and get one little point across. I'm going to use my device to call another device. That's as simple as it needs to be, but no, we've got too many words for it.
So far on my journey of trying to put this toonie back together, I tried brute force with a hammer and that didn't work. I tried to boil the outer rings in order to expand them with heat, but a lot of you have said I didn't use enough heat, so I boiled some water to make some tea, and while the element was super red hot, I gently placed the outer ring of the toonie directly on the heat source. It's really interesting how you can just watch it here, and you can see it getting hotter and changing colors. That's really neat. This is much hotter than last time. I was very careful to remove it with tongs, and I put it on the cutting board. I wasn't sure how hot it was at this point, but look at the damage it did. It caused a little scorch mark in my cutting board, so I'm glad I didn't touch it with my hands. Yeah. So what I did here is I grabbed the extender for my ratchet, not the ratchet itself, I learned my lesson, and I hammered it out and I tried to press it down, and it just didn't really work. But all was not lost, and I did learn a lesson here. I found that the other ring and the other centerpiece, they just kind of clicked if I put a little pressure with my fingers. And so I guess the lesson here is toonies, just like relationships, you can't force it. You just have to find the right fit and it'll all come together.
Hang on a second. Does that mean that entire time you just had them mixed up? I mean, I'm still blown away by the fact that they can even come apart in the first place, and I would love to know how much force does it take for them to come apart? Do they just generally come apart? Is it just a thing that people have to deal with? Is it then invalid currencies? So many different things. But man, the fact that they... Well, even just boiling them on the stove and all those kind of things didn't get them to expand enough, but it was also able to burn a scorch mark in the, it looks like bamboo, I guess, chopping board, and so it's not going to be the highest degree of wood. Regardless though, the fact that it didn't expand enough to be able to get that center back in. Maybe you just had to put one, I guess, the outside on the stove and the inside in the freezer. Just maybe outside if it's a Canadian winter, whatever it may be. I would love to know how they get them there in the first place. Is it just a mechanical push fit die? Is it while it's super duper duper hot, just out of a kiln, out of a, I don't know, how are they possibly getting them together so easily? Or like you said, are they kind of made to measure? Are they paired up? They surely wouldn't be able to. You would just need to be able to make them over and over and over again, and then through the deformation of just using them in everyday currency transactions, they would just make a bond and come together. And also, like he was saying, they are a perfect pair, and so for them to even get to the separated part in the first place, there's probably some damage that has been done, some deforming of the entire relationship there, and they doesn't just go back together. It takes a lot of work. You know, things may get heated, things may get cooled, but that doesn't always work. Sometimes, well, it takes a bit of brute force and a lot of time and energy.
What's a duotang?
Oh, is that the folder? I think I've heard this once.
Really?
Yeah.
It's
I can't even guess without being inappropriate.
I don't.
Is it
it's
like a drink?
No, it's a something you put paper into.
Like a binder?
It's a binder, but with the little like metal clips that you've spread out.
Oh yeah, those folders.
Right.
What is
They
it?
have a name?
Yeah, do it, Tang.
Yeah, we have those, which is
What do you call them?
just folders with the clips.
Yeah.
What's a Bristol board?
Jeez, is it like a cutting board?
No, it's basically
Like a different type of wood?
no, a presentation board or like the like the
poster board.
I guess so.
Do you call it poster board?
No, we call it Bristol board.
You never called it poster.
Never
board?
in my life. What's a converter?
Something that turns energy from one source to another.
Yeah.
I mean, in theory, I suppose.
Yeah, what's
but no, that's what the remote control is. We call it converter
I'm sorry, what? Remote control for what?
for TV. Like
No.
Yeah, you never heard converter?
No way. That is ridiculous. How have I never heard of that before? I feel as though he's just making that up because I've never heard of that before. Calling a remote control or the remote a converter, that is completely ridiculous. Converting what? What is it doing? Like, these words are rooted in their definitions and then they get their uses by that. What is it converting besides your electrical signal into a IR blaster? Like, it's not converting anything. It's just converting your commands into the TV's, I don't know, ability. I feel as though that is just a little bit of a stretch right there, especially when we already have a defined definition for what that piece of technology can be. It's a remote. I can only imagine it comes from the other definition of remote being detached and away from the other sources, perhaps, whatever you want to be calling it. A remote is the worldwide vocab. Surely, where are they getting converter from? I mean, if I just also want to be coming back to Duotang, I've heard that once before in a similar one like this, and that's the only reason I knew it. There is no other way I would ever be able to tell where it's coming from. I mean, he took it a little bit too far. I don't think your mind immediately just goes dirty. I still don't know, is it a ring binder thing, ring folder, or is it, like he said, just the spreader clamps only? I would love to know which one it is. And then what else did he say? He said it was a Bristol board. Yeah, is it a chalk, not a chalkboard, like a cork board, or is it something else? I mean, maybe it'll come up. Oh wait, is that I don't know what that is, unless it's kind of like core flute, but I don't recognize anything that I'm seeing there. And so, all in all, this guy just enlightened me to so much more, and I guess that truly is what it all comes down to. You know, you can just feel as though you know most things, most of these kind of scenarios, and then they just blow you out of the water again, and you just go, well, I guess that's back to square one.